As Ruth so kindly said, my name is David. I work here at Prezi and I live here in Budapest. And I'm the writer at Prezi. When I use the word writer, it's a very all-encompassing definition because I write the knowledge-based material, I write for the engineering blog, the forward-facing marketing copy on the website. What else do I write? The normal blog, pretty much anything with words that you see with Prezi. Yes, it's a fun job. But I want to talk to you today a little bit about how I see my world. And I want to start with the why. And the why are we all here? I'm not going to get religious. Why are we all here, as in why are you guys gathered here in this room today? Well, I believe the reason that we're all gathered here in the same room today is a question of communication. Can I get a quick show of hands? It's been done already today, but it's different from here. How many of you are engineers, developers, programmers? How many of you have a different life function? Okay, it's about there are less developers than I thought. Okay, well, we're here. At least I believe we're here because, in some way, shape, or form, communication is letting us down, or it's letting down the people we work with. And we believe that it can be improved, and we believe that it can be improved with writing. And as we're here at a technical writers conference, and I write for a tech company, I'm going to talk about people writing for tech companies. What is it that makes people at tech companies write? The thing that brings you out and makes you write, I find in my experience, is normally one of two things. First, you've created something. You've created something that you're really proud of, you think is super awesome, and you want the world to use it. You want the world to share, you want the world to understand, you want the world to take this wonderful thing that you've done and make the world better. That's the first reason. The second reason, and the more common reason, is you want some love. You've done something that you think is really awesome, and you want the credit for doing something really awesome. You want people in the corridor to give you high fives when you walk by. Why aren't people giving you high fives in the corridor? Well, it might just be because you're not getting your message across. And there are some rules about writing which you can use, that I use, that might help you. And from the way I see things, we can do something to get your corridor high five count up. Now, to do this, I'm going to go off on a tangent and tell you a story. It's a story that starts at school, my school, which is a long time ago now, far too long ago. It's like more than a decade ago. And when I went to school, I learned history. Yes, I know Michael Jackson did the high historic history. I stole it from him. If you didn't know that, I made it up. It's really cool. Thanks. But when I went to school over a decade ago, there was a very strict division of society. Society was split in two. And I'm not talking about rich versus poor. I'm not talking about haves versus have-nots. I'm talking about a different division of society. And you know what? There's someone who can explain it better than me. And his name is Homer Simpson. And the sounds that work in Ricardo, even though we tested it. Okay. No? Are you running? You appear to be. I'm going to let the video play so that we can go back to the beginning. No. It worked in test, didn't it? Oh, there we go.
Mark, try to understand. There are two kinds of colors. Dogs and nerds. As a dog, it is my duty to give nerds a hard time. Hey, pal, did you get a load of the nerd?
Pardon me?
Now, it's a cliche, I know, that there is this world of jocks and nerds, and you know what, Marge is right, he's not very nice. But when I went to school, this division really existed between what do you call in America, the jocks and the nerds. Well, we didn't call them jocks and nerds, we just called them cool kids and the not so cool kids. But I have to give you a little bit of backstory. I come from a place called Chichester. Now, I met, actually the previous speaker is also from England, just like me, and we met and we had a conversation, and where in England are you from, David? I'm from Chichester. Ah. Where is that exactly? Do you know Brighton? Yeah, I know Brighton. Do you know Portsmouth? Yeah, between the two. Oh, still don't know it. Anyway, Chichester is pretty much the most sheltered Caucasian middle-class town in the whole of the UK. Actually, it's not even a town. We have a cathedral. It's a beautiful cathedral. It's the only cathedral in the world that you can see from the sea, apparently. But because we have a cathedral, the Queen says we're a city. We have a population of less than 150,000, but we're a city because we have a cathedral. God bless Her Majesty. Now, I went to school at a place called Bishop Laffer Anglican Church of England School. It was just like Hogwarts, that's why I chose the Harry Potter glasses. It really was. We had lunch from the big halls and everything. Now, my school had a population of about 3,000 students. Of the 3,000 students that went to my school, we had 2 from an ethnic minority. They were twins. They were adopted twins. Their parents weren't from an ethnic minority. That's how sheltered the place I grew up in was. Now, where I grew up in Chichester, in the school I went to, this division between the cool kids and the not kids was not one of those things that you can just feel, you can feel it in the air, it's there. You could see it. You could literally see it. When you got to high school, there were 2 big rewards. The first was you didn't have to wear school uniform anymore. The second was you got to go into the common room. Ooh. And the common room was cool for 2 reasons. 1, it had a vending machine. 2, it had a pool table. This was amazing, this. However, there were more high school students than could fit in the common room at one time. So we overflowed into the room next door, the quiet room. The bad thing about the quiet room was that the principal's office was next to it. So it became this really visible division of our school that the cool kids got to go in the common room and the not so cool kids had to go in there. Once a year, one of the not so cool kids would come into the common room, put his money down on the pool table, challenge us to a game. He would have his ass kicked and be sent back to the other room. And he would never come back again. We were horrible people. Really, really horrible people. It was so bad that one Christmas we got a bit drunk. We went to the local Santa's Grotto. Did you have those? Santa's Grotto is this thing where a man dresses up as Father Christmas, sits down, kids come on his knee, parents pay. You know, we call it Santa's Grotto. We stole the sign from the Santa's Grotto, cut off the T and the O, and put grot above the door to the quiet room. This was how horrible we were. I'm sorry. Fortunately for me and Chichester and the world, I decided to leave Chichester and go somewhere else. I grew up, went to university, and then decided to go traveling, and I went all over Asia. Stayed in Korea for 9 years, and after a while, kind of settled down, got myself a job in a government agency, and then started working in the corporate environment, and obviously I hated that, and I wanted to come back out of Asia, back into Europe, and I started working for a hip, sexy, young, cool startup by the name of Present. Okay? Upon my return, I spent 9 years in Asia. Upon my return, I discovered that the world has changed. It's not what it once was. And I realized that it had changed when I saw this sentence on a t-shirt. Beginners shall inherit the earth. Shit. These are the same guys that I put in a room and wrote the word grot over the top of. They're now in charge. They're the new overlords. Welcome. Now, this is obviously a very scary thing for me to see, geeks shall inherit the earth. But it's absolutely true. There are superstar geeks now. These guys are superstars, like a rock star, but they're just geeky guys. You know, these guys who can't play pool. And they've got money and power and influence. They even have the girls. Everything has changed. I need to adapt. And now I find myself in this new world. And you know what? I kind of like it. Really, I've been here for 1.5 years now. I kind of like this new geeky world. For a start, as a group of people, You're much more fun to drink with. Really, you are. And it's none of this kind of competitive drink, well, a little bit, but not too much of this kind of competitive drinking thing. You just drink because you like drinking. You also think that How I Met Your Mother is rubbish, and it is, which that's a nice thing. No, just me, okay, fine. And also, I'll be honest, you're a lot less intimidating in the shower. Sorry. The jokes are big, guys. But for all the power, the money, the influence, all of these things that you have, in the year and a half that I've been here, I've discovered there's still one thing that you kind of lack, that you kind of don't have. And I'm going to upset some of you, but it's social skills. Now I know this is a sweeping generalization, and also I know I'm the guy that put a bunch of people in a room, called them grot, was horrible, and I'm going to lecture you about social skills. Okay. This is a do what I say presentation, or do as I do presentation. But to give you an example, this is a real life example that happened right here at this company, and I have covered up names to protect identities. But it's a story of a Norm and a nerd. Now, our Norm is a mid-level, no, much kind of high-level senior manager. She works on the product. She's in her 30s. She likes to go for walks with her dog. On the weekends, she goes for wine tasting trips in Napa Valley. She definitely thinks How I Met Your Mother is funny. The nerd guy at the top, what's the best way to define him? Okay, when he was looking for a house in Budapest, he didn't care about the things that the Norm would have cared about, like proximity to facilities or size of dwelling, ambient light. These are not things that he cared about. All he cared about was whether or not he could get the fastest possible broadband connection in the city. Ambient light is this guy's enemy, because ambient light means that you have to install curtains and then get up and pull them when the light comes in. Okay? Unfortunately, in the world that we work in now, these two people work in the same company. And they clash. Now, one day, our Norm, she created a new product feature. She thinks it's a really cool product feature. She got her team on it, got the team doing it. They created the product feature. It's going well. We need to tell the company about this. We're really excited. We're going to tell the company. How can we? Well, fortunately, we have just the thing for telling the company. Product meeting every Thursday, 4 o'clock. Sends out the mail to the whole company. This is what we're going to test, the product meeting. This is what we're going to show you. Please come, see our brand new, really cool feature. Now, unfortunately, the attendance to that product meeting that week was a bit low. In fact, attendance constituted a member of the bistro team who was laying out food for the meetup that came later, the rest of the team, some people who came for the meetup early, and a really enthusiastic intern. Now, this made our Norm confused. And then it made her angry. Why aren't they here looking at my brand new product feature? So you know what she did? She sent an electronic mail to the entire company expressing how confused and upset she was. Now, what is the correct response when your boss's boss, in effect, sends an electronic mail to the whole company expressing how she's confused and upset? What is the correct response for our nerd? Is it A, nothing? Silence is golden. B, an apology. I feel bad for you. I should have gone. That was not the right thing to do. Or is it C, a point-by-point deconstruction of how the event was wrongly advertised to the company and an invitation for everyone to debate their work priorities and how to solve scheduling conflicts? Be honest, how many of you are thinking C? Liars. Not only did he send this email, when this is the correct answer, it got +1s. So this is what I'm talking about when I say social skills, okay? Now, I asked one of my developer friends, why? Why would someone do that? Why would they think it's appropriate to send that email to their boss's boss? And you know what he told me? He said an interesting thing to me. The new currency in this new world that you live in with your new overlords, David, is different. The new currency is not money. It's not even power. The new currency is in here. It's smartness. How smart you are. And I think about it, and I think he's right. When a new girl starts to work for the company, I say, hey, how's that new girl? She's pretty. No. she's pretty smart. This is the new response. This is the new way we deal with. And this is because you're a bunch of people that fix problems. I want my Prezi to look the same on an iPad, on my desktop, or in the browser. It's a problem, go fix it. You love it. Oh, I love a problem, I'll fix it. No worries. I want a picture of a cat pushing another cat down the stairs to appear on the phone of someone in India I've never met. Problem, we'll fix it. But the thing is, when you want to engage people and get their interest, you're not fixing a problem. You're dealing with people's emotions. And the best way to get an emotional attachment, the best way to get an attachment for interest is to, play on people's emotions. Now, recently at Prezi, I took on the responsibility of handling the engineering blog. These are the nerds that Homer meets later in the episode. And after I took on the responsibility of writing for the engineering blog, I was confronted with this set of opinions. This is an actual email quoted verbatim in 3 parts. This is an engineering blog. It's written by engineers, for engineers. It doesn't matter if you can tell an engineer wrote it. I actually received this in an actual email. What that sentence is in effect saying is, doesn't matter if you're boring. We're ready for boring. We like boring. Boring is good. At least that's what it was saying to me. So I wrote a long email back, but I'll give you the gist of the email. And you know why this opinion is correct, or at least to me it's correct? It's because you, as a group of people, and in my experience of you, you love emotions. You love to be engaged. I took a very scientific poll of the top movies that engineers and developers love. I read 2 blog posts and I asked a friend. It's scientific. I didn't just pick these at random, that's the important thing. So the 5 movies that all engineers and developers love, or get mentioned all the time. Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, not Matrix Revolution, that was a pile of crap. Inception, Star Wars, Blade Runner. These are the ones that come up again. You know what all of these movies have in common? They were all written by geeks. Every single one of them. They were all written by nerdy geeks. And you know what else they all have in common? They're all love stories. Yeah? They do have complex concepts. Touches of religion, dreams within a dream, different separate reality inside of computers. Yeah, they are high concept movies. But they play on basic emotions such as love, betrayal, these kind of things, dreams. So, I've just proven to you that you guys love emotional attachment. You love it. Cannot be debated. Therefore, I will give you my 4 rules for how you can go about getting emotional attachment from your writing. Number 1, start with the good shit. I see this a lot. A lot of times I'll open a blog post or an engineering blog post and you get the TLDR, right? Too long, didn't read. I'll just give it to you all straight up. Or the other thing that you get is, I'll explain the backstory, then I'll get into the interesting stuff. Don't do it that way around. Start with the interesting stuff, then the backstory. Look at The Matrix, right? First 5 minutes of The Matrix. I'm going to kill the sound this time. Okay, first 5 minutes of The Matrix. Now, The Matrix is a high concept movie. Yeah? Oh, okay. It's working. My internet connection is working. I will kill it. So, yeah, The Matrix is a high concept movie where there are one reality and a different reality, right? And there's a really good part of the movie where they explain the differences between the 2 worlds. But do they open with that explanation? Do they open with Morpheus telling you how the sky burned and all of that? No, they rush through that part in the middle. They open with the good stuff. Guys in suits wearing sunglasses at night, and girls in leather. She's about to run away from bullets. That's cool, yeah? You put the good stuff at the beginning. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Star Wars doesn't start with the good stuff. Star Wars starts with the backstory. You read it, it's all there, in your face. You know what? Some people don't like Star Wars. And in a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago, you could do that with backstory. But the world we live in now, you're competing with videos of cats pushing other cats down the stairs, which people are reading while they're on the toilet. Yeah? There is no time or patience for endless backstory anymore. So start with the good shit. Rule 2, keep it simple. What do I mean by simple? Okay, so to demonstrate this, I'm going to be very English and show you how a jock would show you through the medium of sports. On the left, we have what we would call a Brazilian or Spanish goal. And on the right, we have what I would call an English goal. Now, this is the Brazilian or Spanish goal. Note the intricate weaving of players in and out of each other, small, sharp, one-touch passes between people. It's a thing of beauty. It's like a choreographed dance. This is the English goal. Now, there are those that would say that this is more aesthetically pleasing than this. And they'd be right. This takes more skill than this. There's more luck involved in this. But you know what? This is a goal. This is also a goal. It's one goal. This can't really go wrong. You just whack it and then it goes. There's lots of places this can go wrong. Yeah? You should take the same approach to writing. Now, this is Brazilian or Spanish writing. Actually, it's not. It's English writing. In fact, this is Dickens. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people who like Dickens. Horrible, horrible, nasty people, but there are people who like Dickens. Make me read it at school. Anyway, you don't have time or the audience for Dickens. Keep it simple. If you don't trust me, trust this guy. He's my hero, Ernest Hemingway. Now, I'm about to show you 6 words that are actually an urban myth, and we don't know for sure whether or not he actually wrote them down or said them, but the story goes that he believes that you can contain an entire narrative in 6 words. 6 words for an entire narrative. So I've just told you you can't use many words, but you can use them effectively. So the story goes that he wrote down for sale, baby shoes, never worn. Now, whether he wrote that or not, that is an entire narrative in 6 words. That's intrigue in 6 words. Yeah, that's emotion in 6 words. So yeah, you have to be brief. Yeah, you have to make use of every word, but it can be done. Here's some other 6-word stories that other people have tried them. None of these are mine. I like the last one because I like David Bowie, but anyway. Rule 3, write the shit people say. Please write what people actually say. People come to write, it's the first time they write, and they get caught up in all of these rules. Like the rule I hear all the time is, you can't end a sentence with a preposition. That's wrong. It's not wrong. You know what Winston Churchill said about people who end a sentence with a preposition? Sir Winston Churchill, Times Man of the Century. That is a rule with which up I will not put. Yeah? And another thing. Well, and but another thing. This is another thing I hear all the time. You can't start a sentence with a conjunction. That's wrong. But this is not wrong. This is beautiful. This is the Chicago Manual of Style. The greatest thing that man has ever contributed to another man. It has all the answers of how to write in it. And if you ever write anything, you should read 5.2 of the Chicago Manual of Style, which is the grammar and usage section. It's wonderful. And in 5.206, you'll find this. Beginning a sentence with a conjunction. There was a widespread belief, one with no historical or grammatical foundation, that it is an error to begin a sentence with a conjunction such as and, but, or so. In fact, a substantial percentage, often as many as 10% of the sentences in first-rate writing begin with conjunctions. It has been so for centuries, and even the most conservative grammarians have followed this practice. Start your sentences with and but, and enjoy it, and refer people to this. The Chicago Manual of Style has a really excellent online service that you can subscribe to on an annual basis. If you only get 1 annual subscription to anything this year, make sure it's Prezi. But if you get 2, get Prezi and the Chicago Manual of Style. 4, don't repeat shit. Now, I'm telling you this because I've just told you, say what people say. Usage trumps any of the rules, right? But you have to understand that the ear and the eye are different organs and they work in different ways. The ear loves repetition, loves you to repeat yourself. I'm repeating myself right now. I keep saying the word repeat because I'm banging my message home, yeah? Repeat yourself when you speak. That's fine. Repetition is great. But the eye doesn't like it. The eye doesn't like it when you repeat stuff. So you might be like this guy and be a really, really great speaker, and he was a really great writer too. And you might be able to come up with a speech that will inspire people to go to their deaths. But when you write, cut the repetition. The eye doesn't like it. And like we've already said, there isn't time for that. Now, why should you listen to me? 4 rules, what have you ever done, bunch of great people, blah, blah, blah. When we took these 4 rules and applied them to the Prezi Engineering blog, the last post that we wrote was picked up by The Guardian as one of the blog posts on technology that you should read. It works. So what are those 4 rules again? 1, start with the good shit. 2, keep shit simple. 3, write the shit people say. 4, don't repeat yourself. Again, I know I've repeated myself, and I know I didn't start with the good stuff at the beginning either, but you know, do what I say, not what I do. You can use my rules. You can use someone like Elmore Leonard's 10 Rules of Writing, which is an excellent little book. You can use Hemingway's 4 rules. His 4 rules were use vigorous English, use positive words, not negative, use short paragraphs, use short sentences. Okay, those were his 4 rules. The point being that if you use my 4 rules, Elmore Leonard's 10, Ernest Hemingway's 4, you do not have to be boring. You can choose to be exciting. No one should be ever saying this sentence, you can tell that an engineer wrote this. Because you as engineers don't have to be dull and boring. You can be really fun and exciting. If you have any questions, I'd like to hear them, or you can find me on Twitter. Thank you very much. Oh, there's one over there.
I would just like to add, along with the Chicago Manual of Style, E.B. White, Elements of Style. It's a wonderful, really concise, I guess chunk and white. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, it is. I agree. Any more? Oh, there's one there.
Really great presentation, but why do the English never win the World Cup?
We haven't got time.
Better things to do.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't fight with the German guy. They've won it a few more times.
Football and all, so.
Any other questions? Maybe not sports related?
Who here has written or read a white paper? Who here has found white papers boring? Can we change that?
That wasn't a question.
It was a call to action.
No? Good? Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.